have any idea where she may be?
No.
None whatsoever.
Well, I can confidently tell you she did not go to school with her backpack.
How's that?
Because we found it in the trash.
The disappearance of 13-year-old Madeline Soto was a mystery that nobody could explain. The last people to see her alive were her mother and stepfather.
And this little girl's out there somewhere that we need to know where.
If I knew anything, I would tell you right now.
While detectives worked restlessly to find their daughter, they began to suspect that culprits were much closer than they could have imagined. Disturbing images, bone-chilling surveillance video, and changing stories. Every clue seemed to circle back to the very ones who reported her missing.
Once her victimization started, it occurred under your roof and you acted like it didn't exist.
What happened to your hand?
Flat tire.
While no one believed the ones who cared for her the most were capable of something so horrible, detectives were convinced that they knew more than they were letting on.
I don't believe a lot of the things you're saying, and I don't believe a lot of the things you say you weren't aware of, and that is because your first reaction is to protect Stefan.
I feel like I should probably have a lawyer present at this point.
Where was Madeline Soto, and could her own parents really be involved in her disappearance? Madeline Soto was a sweet but shy young teenager who grew up in Kissimmee, Florida, with her mother. Neighbors recall the teen being full of life and trying to find her way, like many people her age. She attended Hunters Creek Middle School, where, despite having anxiety, friends described her as always being a happy girl who loved music, dancing, and art. In fact, her 13th birthday was celebrated on February 25th, 2024, and was full of just that. Music, dancing, and family and friends. The next morning, Monday, February 26th, Madeline was up early getting ready for school. After throwing on a green hoodie and some jeans, she waited in the living room for her mom to get up and give her a ride. Her mom, Jennifer, often worked late into the night and struggled to get up in the morning. The previous night, she hadn't gotten home until almost midnight, and she was extremely tired. So, she was very relieved and grateful when her boyfriend, 37-year-old Stephen Stearns, heavily insisted on taking Madeline to school for her so she could get some rest. Jennifer and Stephen had been in an on-and-off relationship for 7 years. He'd moved in and out several times, but at this point in time, he was living in the home with Jennifer, Madeline, and their 2 roommates. As a sort of father figure, Stephen giving Madeline a ride to school wasn't an unusual occurrence, so Jennifer readily accepted his offer, rolled over, and went back to sleep. Around 4:30 in the afternoon, Jennifer got in her car and went to pick Madeline up from school. After a short drive, she arrived at Hunters Creek Middle School and waited for Madeline to come outside, and waited, and waited, and waited, but she never came. Worried, Jennifer called Madeline's teacher to ask where she was, but they had no idea either, because Madeline hadn't come to school that day. Now panicked, she quickly called Stephen to ask if Madeline was with him, but he confirmed that he'd dropped her down the block from the school that morning and watched her walk to the building before leaving. After checking a nearby business that Madeline sometimes walked to after school and still seeing no sign of her, she and a friend contacted the police.
911, what's the location of your emergency? And do you need police, fire, or medical?
Police, possibly. I'm reporting a missing child.
Okay, and the child that you're trying to report missing, are you calling on behalf of the parent?
Yes, on behalf of the mother. She's right.
Okay, and then and ma'am, how old is the child? And could I go ahead and get her name?
Yes, it's...
And is she white, black, or Hispanic?
She's white.
Okay,
Blonde
and...
hair, dirty blonde hair, blue eyes.
Okay, hold on with me here. And then, what color shirt and pants was she last seen wearing?
Hold on, let me ask. Then, what color shirt and, what was she last wearing? Hold on, we're finding out.
Okay, and then how long has it been, though, since you guys have last seen her?
Since this morning. She was dropped off at school this morning, and apparently she never showed up. We called everyone we knew. No one's seen her.
Okay, perfect then. So then I'll get a call placed for service. We'll have deputies out there to come and make a report with you and to come and assist with trying to find your... Okay?
Okay, her mother and my They're going to the school to double check and everything, but from what we know, she wasn't there. So they should be back soon too, because it's right next to the school.
Yeah, that's fine. So if at least one of you remains there, though, to meet with an officer, that's more than fine, okay?
Yeah, I'll be here.
Okay, then. All right. Thank you so much, ma'am, and I'll go ahead and let you go. We'll be out there as quickly as we can, okay?
Dispatch took the report and put out a call for service, but because all the officers in the area were tied up with other emergencies, Jennifer and Stefan waited for hours at a friend's business for an officer to show up. It wasn't until shortly after midnight when an officer was finally able to respond.
Of course. Do they speak English? Yes. Okay. Hi there.
Hey there.
Hey there. What's going on?
So, was dropped off close to school this morning, but never made it. I went to pick her up from school.
I'm sorry, one second.
Yes.
So, she was supposed to be dropped off at school, didn't make it to school.
Didn't make it to school. I went to pick her up from school today,
Okay.
and she never came out. They announced it over the speaker, and I'm just like, maybe she walked here, because sometimes she'll walk here to this office. I came here, nothing. I went back to the school, they were closed. I got an email from the school saying she was absent, but I also messaged her teacher, and he looked at her entire attendance today and saw that she was completely not at school today either.
Okay.
So she never made it.
Okay. What's her name?
Madeline. Madeline.
Madeline. Last name?
Soto. S-O-T-O.
S-O-T-O?
Yeah.
Date of birth?
February 22nd, 2011.
February 27th, 2000?
22nd.
Oh, sorry, 22nd. Do you know if she has, like, friends in the area?
She does, but she doesn't know where they live.
She doesn't know where they live, okay.
I have followed them.
Is this, like, does she, like, have any places that you guys know that she'll usually be at? Any friend's house? Any places that, like, you guys can hang out?
Typically,
No.
Not typically?
No.
Okay. Just give me 1 second. Let me see.
thank you.
No problem. And what school she goes to? 125. Do you have a picture of her? Can you airdrop it to me?
Let me see which picture. I don't know which picture.
You recently called the birthday party, right?
Yeah, but I wasn't there, so I have to look at. How do I airdrop? I don't know how to do it.
I got you. Okay, where's the photo? Right there.
It's on WhatsApp.
That's fine. Let me see.
I saved it to my photos, so you could go.
You saved it to your photos?
Yeah, we
Perfect.
can just go straight to the photos.
Okay, perfect. Give me a second. Okay. I'm gonna send it out right now to my other guys.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Never showed up. So they called since I don't even know when, but whenever they what did you say what she called? My question is not why is this not a code 3 when it first came out? Yeah, so that last time she was seen, it was early this morning, like 7 o'clock. That's what I'm about to see. I'm about to go check. I just try to get as much information now of her clothing description, send it to Diaz. So Diaz has a hit in like a big area full of kids. So if you want to help me out with this one, send me my signal expert. By any chance, does she have a phone number or a phone?
She does, but she left it at home today. I have it.
You have it.
And I've already gone through her messages.
Okay. How about, does she have like Apple Watch? No.
She's got a device. The only device she's got on her right now is her school laptop.
Her school laptop. Is that trackable?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Stop. She was like, so she's in Madeline playing car. So she didn't want to be dropped off at school. She wanted to be dropped off like half a block away so she can walk.
It's in this thing, she's in the face.
But he dropped her off half a block away and drove away.
Okay. Did she ever go to school though?
No, we called
She
school.
was walking in that direction, she was rifling through her backpack, just looking for something. I thought maybe she was just looking for headphones before she got her walking on.
Yeah.
But she was just kind of, shambling over in that direction. It looked the same as any other morning.
Okay.
What was the last thing you asked?
If she went to school,
So I got confirmation from the school that she never made it. They sent me an email saying she didn't make it. But I also spoke to her, or emailed one of her teachers directly, and he looked at all her attendance for all her periods and told me she didn't make it at all today.
Okay.
Say it again?
From OPD at Quarantine.
Yeah, it said negative on that hit at the park.
Way,
So.
reference a 21 to a vehicle. Pursuing local, reference a 21 to a vehicle.
I think
Going
black
to be
shorts.
an unknown male, gray hoodie,
Possibly
black
black
pants,
shorts
black
and
ski
white
mask,
Crocs
black
with
gloves.
socks.
I'm getting a random 407 number. Okay. Hello? Yeah? Hi, Principal. I'm okay. How are you? No, currently the police officer's here right now.
Get started in the
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find her
paperwork.
anything.
Does she have any social media or anything like that?
She has Instagram.
Right here.
OBT tap on,
Private.
It is her.
Just family,
Thank you
cousins.
so much. I
friends.
definitely appreciate it.
Right here.
That's her profile?
Yeah.
Any Snapchat or
Let me get that. No, that's the other one.
One of the officers went to the school and reviewed the surveillance footage from that morning. While he couldn't be completely sure, they momentarily saw someone on the footage that might have been Madeline.
Detectives might be out here to come talk to you guys. You might see a private number or like Orange County number. So that's probably one of them trying to contact you guys through the business line. I hope I see you guys, but on better circumstances. Hey, it's possible that she came here and sat in the parking lot for a while. It's blurry video, but it looks like a adolescent child sitting right there, and she's hitting. The people here said that they were adamant they seen her on the property, but like I said, it's a blurry video, and I don't see her getting into anybody's car in the video. I see her sitting on property for give or take 10 minutes, and then walking off property. I don't know which way she went from there. Around, like, I'll say,
Is there any way I can see it from the
it's really blurry. It's like there's no possible way. You can ask them to see if they could allow you to see the video. I can't really grant that for you, and just have them see if they have them. But yeah, I had her sitting there, and then she walked right off property. I'm gonna send that to my detectives to see what they can do with that and get more video.
cameras like that show the bridge or anything?
No. Do you know any spots that she probably hang out at that she doesn't want to tell?
Well, the address that I gave you, she never goes here in the
Yeah.
We do have like family friends over there, but she never goes there. And if she did, they would have said something right away. The lady who lives and works at the officer said she would have said something right away, but no, I don't think she would have gone there. I don't know if she knows anyone around here. I only know that one friend that we told you about, which comes to my house all the time. And then yesterday we met a new one.
Yeah.
That's the only two people I ever met.
Definitely, okay. Yeah.
I have no idea. We checked her phone. I didn't see any like
Crazy stuff. Like,
crazy
yeah,
messages
me neither,
before.
yeah.
I didn't see her trying to like plan anything with anyone. And I just really don't think she's the type to do that.
Just walk up and leave.
Yeah, I don't see her doing that at all.
Once we get any news or anything like that, the detective more than likely contact her, or I would contact her and say, hey, if we find her tonight, I will contact her more than likely. If not, a detective will contact her first thing. Okay? Any questions for me? Anything you need to know?
No.
No? Alright, no problem. Alright?
Have a good one.
You too.
Officers proceeded to scan the area around the school and the church. They brought out a police K-9 who sniffed around the area but didn't hit on her scent. The following afternoon, detectives paid a visit to Jennifer's apartment. While Jennifer and Stefan waited outside, they scoured the apartment for any evidence of where Madeline might have gone, but nothing in the house provided any clues to her location. As the last known person to see Madeline, they asked Stefan's permission to examine his phone for evidence. He agreed and surrendered his device, but advised that he'd recently performed a factory reset that wiped the device clean. Regardless, his phone was taken back to the police station and an extraction was performed. Because of the factory reset, his messages and photo gallery were nearly empty. However, they figured that his gallery might have been backed up on Google Photos. They opened up Stefan's Google account and were happy to discover that they were correct. All his photos were indeed there. But the celebration was short-lived. When they saw exactly what photos were on the file, their satisfaction was replaced with dread and disgust. There in front of them were over 1,700 explicit images and videos of his Madeline, unclothed, in a suggestive position, and performing inappropriate acts. The images dated as far back as June 2019, 5 years before her disappearance. The following day, February 28th, Stefan was brought into the sheriff's office to answer some very serious questions.
Step on. How you doing, sir? That's okay. Didn't mean to wake you up. So, being that you're here, we're here, you were taken here by detectives, I just need to get this out of the way, just so we can talk about how we're or where she may be, okay? All right, let's talk about your... We just talked to Jennifer a little bit, so... Where'd you meet her?
Work.
Where was that at?
We worked for a home building company. It's no longer in business, but we were both in the call center area.
Oh, okay. So like selling homes or?
Yeah.
So she had a birthday recently. She had a birthday party Sunday? Is that right?
Sunday, yeah.
Okay.
So
did you come to the party?
No. I was on my way up at that point.
Okay. So the party ends. Did you pick them up from the party?
Someone must have dropped her off.
Okay.
She was there when I got there. Jen asked me to make sure that in the shower and did her bedtime routines, which she did. She was already on top of it, so nothing to do there.
Okay. What time do you think you got back in Kissimmee?
What time I got into Kissimmee?
Yeah.
Maybe 8 o'clock, 83-ish, something like that.
And I apologize if you've answered these questions before. It's just like I said, we're coming into the game late, so I may ask you things that you've already answered probably 3 or 4 times.
Well, I apologize as well. My memory is not super reliable on time frames. I've been medicated for the better part of a week.
Okay, that's fine. What do you take medicine for?
Anxiety mostly. I've been having some money troubles lately. Anxious over that, so.
Okay, well, hopefully your money troubles get better.
I've been medicated on Ativan since probably Saturday.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so when you got to Kissimmee and you got to the apartment, what happened? Like,
made some dinner, made some ramen. Don't know how I made my ramen. Then we started watching Sister Act, but it was time for her to start getting ready. Basically, just as we were starting Sister Act.
okay.
And that was just about bedtime.
What time is bedtime?
Usually 10:30, 11-ish,
Okay.
something like that. It's a spectrum, not a set time.
It was reported by both Jennifer and Stefan that he and Madeline often slept in the same bed alone if the three of them weren't sleeping together. This was especially the case if Jennifer was very tired and needed some extra rest. She would send Stefan and Madeline to sleep, together in another room, as she'd done the night before Madeline went missing. While Jennifer didn't consider what could go wrong in that situation, these circumstances created the perfect environment for Stephen to enact his disturbing fantasies.
Alright, so night goes on, morning time comes around, and school. Walk me through that a little bit.
Excuse me. Morning routine. She usually starts waking up. We set about 3 alarms. The first one goes off and we let her keep snoozing.
Do you remember what time her alarm goes off? Or what?
Not really. Maybe 7:30ish. I'm not sure. Alarm goes off. We let her snooze about 3 times while we start getting ourselves ready. And after the 3rd snooze, it's time for her to get up for real and start getting ready. Typically, she will have showered the night before, so she needs to brush her hair, brush her teeth.
Walk me through, like, you leave, you take her to school, in your car?
Yeah.
Okay. And what kind of car do you have?
It's a Lincoln. It's actually my parents' car, because my car is down south. It needs maintenance, and we're scared to drive it too much. So I'm driving a Lincoln right now. Got out early. The plan was to get some McDonald's on the way. So we got out nice and early.
Do you remember what time you left, roughly?
Not 100%.
Okay.
I'm sorry. My memory has not been super reliable.
No, that's fine.
But it was early. Maybe 7:30, 7:45, something like that. I'm not sure. I'm honestly not certain.
That's fine.
The plan
Was Jennifer awake when you guys left?
Semi-awake. I was giving her updates as we were going along. Getting ready, she's getting dressed. We're leaving now. Goodbye. But she was sleeping in, so I was just giving her little updates and poking my head in as we went. But we leave the house. We start making our way to continued on. It was still pretty early though, I think. We still had some time to kill. It wasn't really time to drop her off yet. I had apparently forgotten my clicker key fob for the gate. So I ended up actually turning around at some point and going back to the community to get the clicker. I had to use my parking sticker to get in for the guy to scan. I had some errands to run afterwards, and then I wanted to have my fob. But we still had plenty of time as far as I knew. We left again, and that's when we drove over to her school area, and I dropped her off where I dropped her off.
Okay. Do you remember where you dropped her off?
Yeah, it was the stretch of road. I forget the street name. It was the stretch of road that the school is on. Making right onto it. It goes down a little ways. There's some communities over here, and up further there's a church, and then there's the overpass and the school on the other side of the overpass right there. I dropped her off on that stretch where the communities are.
Was she by herself when you dropped her, or was there friends there?
Yeah, she was by herself. She said she was going to go find her friends and hang out, wait for them to show up.
Okay.
It was still early.
Where did you go after that? Like, did you see her walk towards the...
I saw her making her way towards the direction of the school, but she was like kind of shuffle steps. She was meandering her way there. She was rummaging through her backpack for something. I assumed she was looking for headphones, maybe. As it turns out, she did leave her phone at home that day, so she might have actually been looking for her phone.
Gotcha, okay. What was she wearing when she left, or when you dropped her off?
Green hoodie, black shorts, darker blue, black shorts, white Crocs.
White Crocs. Well, do you continue straight when you leave, or do you turn around?
I turned around and went back the other way. I was watching her in my rearview mirror, and she was going the right direction. So I looked up.
Stefan has yawned several times in the 15 minutes he's been with the detectives. Considering that it's only about 7 in the afternoon, it's hard to believe that he would be this tired. But what is believable is that this repetitive behavior is actually being caused by stress. Frequent yawning can be a self-soothing mechanism used to deliver oxygen to the brain when the body is under stress or feeling anxious. It's also an excuse for Stefan to engage in face shielding behaviors and cover the bottom half of his face.
Where did you go after that?
The next stop I wanted to go to was the vape shop. It opened at 10, so I had a little while, so I just kind of meandered around and eventually made my way over there to wait for it to open. It didn't open when it was supposed to, so I left and came home, and went back about an hour later when I was sure it would have to be open at that point. Got what I needed there. Made my way back to home again, relaxed and hung out with Jen for a while. Seemed like any other morning.
So when you got home, both of you got home, what? Walk me through the rest of the day.
Just hung out, chit-chatted. I mean, I don't know. It's not much to recollect. Maybe noon-ish or 1 o'clock. I had a few errands to run. Back in time for us to go. So I just ran up and down 192. Ended up getting a flat at some point, which made me late to get.
Where'd you get a flat at?
Somewhere along 192.
192 is a big road.
It is, and honestly, it all looks the same to me. So I've been asked, do you remember what plaza you were next to, what color, and I'm like, I'm ADD as it is, and I was in a medicated fog for the better part of a week. I'm lucky I remember what color I'm wearing right now.
Do you remember what errands you were running?
Yeah, I wanted to go check out some game shops.
Where were these game shops?
There's Coliseum of Comics, there's House Rule Games nearby. A lot of the Targets and Walmarts carry the game I was looking forward to. It just had a new release on Friday. So I was just driving around, up and down 192, sort of just aimlessly, honestly. Just killing time till it was time to go back.
Alright, so when you got home, did you and Jennifer leave from school?
So I got home, it was 10 minutes later than Jen had wanted to. By 10 minutes, I called her and said, hey, where are you? I'm so sorry, I got a flat. She already left. She had been gone for 10 minutes. It didn't make sense for her to come back and get me. She likes to be the first in line when the kids start coming out.
Okay, then wasn't at school. So what happened? Did Jennifer call you after that, or what?
I was already on the phone with her while she was waiting. We were just chit-chatting. We do that. We just keep each other company even if we're not physically together. You know? We started making all the calls. No one had seen her yet. So that's when we started getting a lot more concerned and panicked. She drove around a little more, looking for her, looking along the walking paths, and didn't see anything. Went to her. Not there, waited around, not there, went back to the school, not there. At that point, the whole family started rallying up and going to meetings.
Going back to school, how was she like on the car ride there?
Just calmed down, sleeping. Sleeping along the way. She does that.
How often have you?
Not often, honestly. This might have been my third or fourth morning school run. I'm not normally the one to do it.
And on the other occasions, has she had you drop her off in and around the same location, or how does that?
She has this image thing. I guess it's she only likes to be seen getting out of certain cars in front of the school. But I guess kind of a hoopty, and she's embarrassed by it.
Lincoln?
Nice looking Sentra. So yeah, this is not the first time she's asked me to drop her off a little ways down so she could walk up and look cool.
So you say she was conked out on the way there.
Mm-hmm.
You said you took her to school, or you were on her way to school. You needed to turn around to get your clicker.
Correct.
Was she sleeping then too?
She was. Yeah.
Okay.
It had been an early morning, so I figured it'd be fine to let her sleep in the car ride.
Okay. When you got back to the apartment complex, or did you go in the front gate, or because I know there's the front entrance and then the back entrance?
When I came back after forgetting my phone.
Yeah. So which way did you leave?
I would have had to go in the front.
Okay.
And the guy scanned it. And I got in and got my fob and left. I don't remember if I left out the front or the back.
Did you stop anywhere else in? No.
Not that I recall, no.
Okay. Did you take any trash out from the apartment?
The night before, I think I did. I took the trash out at some point, but I don't remember if it was the night before or it was the morning of. Yeah, sometimes we get trash bags piling up by the door. To see them.
Is there like a common trash place, or like is there? Their trash too?
Yeah.
Little does Stefan know that the officers have already scanned surveillance footage from around the apartment complex. That footage showed Stefan leaving the complex that morning with Madeline. In the video, Madeline was visible in the passenger seat of the car. She was noted as being completely slumped over with her mouth hanging open. Not only is this an unnatural position for someone to sleep or sit in, but it contradicts Stefan's claim that she was leaning back in the chair and sleeping.
So
supposedly they got video of her walking past the church or waiting at the church for a while and then leaving.
How's your relationship with her?
Great.
You seem like a genuinely nice person.
I try to be.
Jennifer talks very highly of you. So, the morning school, when you came back, get your clicker, what was car?
She wasn't saying anything. She was just asleep. She was just reclined in the chair, sleeping.
Okay, explain to me, like reclining backwards?
Laying back in the chair. Like that, I guess.
Okay. Alright. Stefan here. I'm too old to lie to people. Too old to beat around the bush. And we seem like we're having a generally good conversation right now. Okay. The only thing that I ask for from you is, and I will reciprocate, I want you to be honest with me as much as I'm being honest with you. Okay. There's cameras all over the place, as you can imagine. Nowadays, Cameras are everywhere. Okay. So we see you coming in at the guard shack. Okay. We see you go by the dumpster. Okay.
I may have taken some trash with me then.
What was in the trash?
House trash.
House trash?
Yeah. So it must have been that morning then. We'll toss trash bags on the back seat, and wherever we're going on our way out, we'll drop that on the way. I think Amy.
Okay. When you for school, did she have her backpack with her?
Yes.
She did. Did she have her school computer with her?
Yes. Presumably, yes.
Presumably. Okay.
She should have.
Once again, this goes back with the whole honesty thing. There was things in that trash bag that got thrown away that probably shouldn't have been thrown away. Okay.
What?
We'll get that in a minute. Do you have any idea where she may be?
No.
None whatsoever?
No.
Okay. All right. Something may have happened. Do you think any...
I don't think so. I don't think what could have happened.
Okay. All right. Do you know anybody that lives in St. Cloud? Do you know where St. Cloud is?
St. Cloud, that's north or south?
East.
East.
East of Kissimmee.
I haven't been out there too much. Yeah, I'm familiar with St. Cloud.
Okay. Whereabouts in St. Cloud? Like, do you know friends out there, or?
I don't have any friends really. I've driven out there a few times before. Mostly just when I'm meandering up and down 192.
Were you out there this week?
Yeah. Yeah, I was out there sometime this week. Sometimes I drive and meander around and explore and drive till I don't know where I am and drive till I know where I am again, and I don't know, just driving it's peaceful sometimes.
Alright.
If I got time to kill, I'll just drive around.
Well, I can confidently tell you she did not go to school with her backpack.
How's that?
Because we found it in the trash.
Not only did they view the surveillance footage, but they actually went to the trash bin to collect the bags that Stefan threw in the trash. Inside, they found Madeline's school laptop, her backpack, and one of her shoes. The only reason Stefan would have to throw these things away would be in an effort to get rid of evidence.
So, Stefan, here's what I'm asking you and pleading with you is to dig down and do some soul searching. Okay? You understand? Family's pleading with you. I'm pleading with you because this is that we need to find. And it's, as more time goes by, it's tough. I have kids, he's got kids, and this little girl's out there somewhere that we need to know.
I don't.
What happened?
I dropped her off.
Where?
I dropped her off on the road to school. That's the last I saw her.
Sometime throughout the night on Sunday, did you guys have any interaction, conversations?
What, like fight?
No, I'm not saying fight. I'm just
you guys sit up and talk, or?
We talked while I was making ramen. She was excited about her choir performance coming up. She was singing a little bit. I told her it was pretty. It reminded me of Sister Act. That's why I wanted to show her that movie. Just talking about a crush she had on the boy.
How'd that make you feel?
Fine. She knows she's not old enough to date, but I told her crush on. Get your crush. That's healthy.
Do you think, has she had any boyfriends in the past?
Not per se, boyfriends as however they can be early on, but we decided that she was too young, needed to avoid that BS.
Alright, being that she's too young, so she shouldn't be having sex with boys.
She's all the that stuff, none of it counts, none of it's real. I just told her she'd be better off waiting till high school.
Has she ever talked to you about boys?
A little bit sometimes.
Has she ever, because I asked Jennifer the same thing, has she ever disclosed to you about being sexually active with boys?
No.
Do you know if she's ever been sexually active with anybody in the past?
Not that I'm aware of.
What happened to your hand?
Flat tire. I haven't changed a flat tire in about 10 years, so I made a rookie mistake and had my thumb too close to where the jack and the frame meet. And it slipped, and the frame came down on my thumb and pinned it between the jack, which I feel like I got off surprisingly light with that.
Ouch.
I yanked it free. You're not supposed to do that. It's okay. Just got the worst of it. It's bruising under the nail.
What about the other scratches?
Courtesy of a janky tire iron and the road.
Did you bleed at all?
Yeah, this one had some blood and this one had some blood, but not much. It clotted fast.
What were you wearing, by chance?
This. So I think I'm still wearing this. I'm still wearing the same clothes.
Oh, so you kept pretty clean?
Try to, I guess.
You weren't wearing a red shirt?
Wearing a red shirt early in the morning, but I changed clothes later because that shirt was maybe a couple days old at that point. And the flat tire happened after that.
Did the flat tire happen before or after? After.
It was sometime afternoon between noon and like 2:30.
And you changed your shirt before or after going back to get the gate clicker?
I don't recall. Maybe after. I can't. I'm so sorry. I'm medicated. I've been medicated all week. My memory is just not as reliable as I would like it to be right now. I was in a fog and half asleep that morning as it was.
Thankfully, the detectives didn't need to rely on Stefan's memory, because they had camera footage of him changing the tire as well. In fact, they were able to use traffic cameras to track the route he took that morning, which was nowhere near Madeline's school. Instead of driving to the school, he'd driven directly to the neighboring city of St. Cloud, which is where he was seen by a witness changing a flat tire on Hickory Tree Road. But before arriving there, he stopped inside the parking garage of the Holiday Inn on South John Young Parkway. Once inside, he opened the passenger side door and appeared to carry something large to the trunk of his vehicle before getting back in and driving away.
I want to get back a little bit to you saying she's not allowed to have boyfriends or anything like that.
She can have crushes. She likes
Alright, have you and her ever exchanged, do you guys exchange text messages? How do you guys communicate?
FaceTime. She'll FaceTime me at night when I'm not around. Before bedtime to say goodnight. Sometimes we don't even talk about anything. We'll just sit there doing our own thing and just with each other's faces on the phone. Just spending time,
What happened? So the deputies made a comment. So what happened to your phone?
I have no idea what happened to my pushing off doing this update for a while, and I ended up trying to do it. I don't know what the hell, my head being in the state it was, I wasn't paying attention. I ended up somehow doing some sort of option that updated the OS, but it ended up like wiping my phone at the same time. Even just now, the phone that my dad gave me and set up for me, I literally just pulled it out of my pocket and the sucker was reinitializing again. So I don't know if it's just me and technology right now, or I'm just not paying attention, or...
Did that happen once to your phone, or how many times do you think you updated your phone?
I think I tried to update it twice, and I don't know what happened.
Okay, and from what I understand, that you gave the deputies consent to look through your phone. You did, okay. And you voluntarily gave it to them so they could bring it here to do the extraction and stuff like that. Okay. What do you think was on the phone?
Text messages. Emails. Old stuff.
Pictures?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of pictures were on there?
Training card pictures, lightsaber pictures, Disney pictures.
Do you have a Google account?
Yeah.
Do you save pictures to your Google account?
Sometimes.
Or is it automatically? I know sometimes phones sync to a cloud and...
Yeah, I think it backs up to Google.
And then sometimes when you reset your phone and your phone updates and puts these apps back on your phone, sometimes they will put the images back on your phone.
I'm not sure.
Do you have
I assume so.
Do you have any pictures of you?
Probably. I mean, we went to Disney, took selfies on the train. She got back from Puerto Rico and had her hair braided. We got pictures of that. All sorts of pictures. Family events. I'm not as much of a shutterbug. I take them every once in a while.
Any other pictures that you think of? Here's where I'm going to be brutally honest with you. There's your phone. And I'm pretty sure you know what some of those pictures are about. You're a very intelligent person. And I don't want you to discredit yourself by saying you don't know about all the pictures that are on your phone. You understand what I'm saying? So do you want to add to the list of pictures?
Should I be talking with a lawyer right now?
I can't answer that question. My sole purpose right now is to see if I can find, and I'm really hoping you can help me.
Okay. Well, I'd like to try to help. I feel like I should probably have a lawyer present at this point.
So you want an attorney?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. That can happen. I want to let you know you're not free to leave. You're being detained, okay? Do you want to know what you're being detained for?
Yeah.
Capital battery and possession. Okay. So we're going to step out. If you need anything, please tap on this door, okay? And there's going to be detectives outside that will be able to assist you.
Okay.
Well, good luck to you, Mr. Is it Stearns?
Yeah.
Stern.
Go ahead and spread your feet for me. Thank you.
Is there
Good?
any way these can be in front of me?
No, sir, we do not do that. Sorry about that.
Minutes later, Stefan was escorted to jail for charges related to what was found on his phone. Seeing as he clearly wasn't going to give up Madeline's location, detectives continued to search for her. The next day, a police K-9 was taken around the car to confirm that it was Madeline who was inside Stefan's vehicle. The K-9 alerted to the rear of the car near the trunk, where Stefan was seen supposedly placing her body while inside the parking garage. After receiving this confirmation, detectives focused their search in St. Cloud. Meanwhile, Jennifer was called down to the police station the following day to find out whether she was involved or aware of what was going on.
We're going to read through the timeline of everything else. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to go from there. All right.
You want me to go through the whole timeline?
Yeah,
Is that what
we'll start with Sunday. Take me through Sunday.
So Sunday, birthday party. She spent the whole day at my mom's house. We celebrated with the whole family. I was at work. I just started a new job last week or the week before.
Okay. Where's that at?
Walt Disney World at Coronado Springs, front desk concierge. I was with my family all day. She had the best day. She was so happy when I got home and I saw her. At my house around 8:30 that night. I wasn't home. She got dropped off alone. About 10 to 15 minutes later, Stefan showed up.
At your house in Kissimmee?
At my house in Kissimmee, he called me. Or he texted me, I'm not sure. But he let me know he was there and that she was getting ready for bed. She was doing her routine. So she took her nighttime meds and she got in the shower to get ready for bed.
What meds? What does she take?
She takes hydroxyzine.
Okay. What is it for?
It's for anxiety and for sleep. I got home around 10:30. I started getting ready for bed myself. I started eating and taking my meds because I have to take meds. I realized I forgot to take my meds and I said, you guys, I need a good night's sleep. I need to take my meds. I sent them to sleep upstairs in the guest bedroom so that I could get a good night's sleep.
suggested that we all sleep together in the same bed together, but not the easiest person to sleep with. She rolls around, she punches, she kicks. We have a king size bed and she typically sleeps on one side and she'll end up on my side when we wake up.
Okay.
So I asked her, I'm like, no, please, I need a good night's sleep. If you guys can go upstairs and let me sleep. I took my meds, and then I told them to start getting ready for bed, to start heading upstairs and get ready because it was already almost 11 o'clock. It's past her bedtime. She needs to go to sleep. So I sent them upstairs. I think he may have come down at one point to pee before bed, and then he went back upstairs. He uses my restroom because the roommates upstairs don't want to share a restroom with a male.
Okay.
Yeah, so he uses my restroom.
So you said about 9 o'clock on Monday you wake up?
Yeah. I wake up. I have a doctor's appointment. I leave sometime between 9:30 and 9:45. And I head over there. I finished there sometime between 11:15. Then I headed home. When I got home, Stephen was there. I had talked to him a little bit earlier while I was waiting for my blood work appointment, and he let me know, oh, I'm so sorry, I left my phone at home by accident. School, everything went great. She got up super early, got up really quick. She slept most of the way in the car. I asked her multiple times if she wanted McDonald's, but she said no. Because that was the plan, was that they were going to stop at McDonald's that morning and go get breakfast.
Right.
He said that he had gone to the vape shop and they were closed and they didn't open. So he waited there for a while and left, and then said he was going to go back later. When I saw him at the house, everything was normal. We were chatting, we were talking, he was acting normal. He was sitting in my computer chair just messing around on his phone. While we were hanging out, he mentioned something along the lines of, oh man, I've been avoiding this phone update for a really long time. I should probably update it now. And I said, do it, don't avoid it, just get it over with. And he updates his phone and then tells me, oh my god, I don't know what button I just pressed, but I just factory reset my entire phone. And I said, how the hell does that happen? That gives you options now when you reset your phone? He goes, yeah, apparently I wasn't paying attention and I just pressed the button and it happened. And I said, oh, that's unfortunate, that sucks. Later on, he tells me he's going to go back out, and I think this is around 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Still on Monday?
Yes, still Monday.
Can he tell you where he looked?
I think he said up and down 192, and I said, why there? And he's like, I don't know, I'm just looking. I was just trying to look anywhere. And I'm just like, okay.
Did he say if he found anything or talked to anybody? Or just roamed?
Yeah, roamed.
What did you guys do Tuesday? Or just you? You guys, if you're not together, you're not together. What's the timeline on Tuesday?
Tuesday, he slept. I woke up early and started making phone calls to like the National Hotline for Missing and Exploited Children. At this point, I had asked my friends and family to start contacting news outlets to try to get as much attention on this as possible. Eventually, reporters come to the house and do an interview, and at this point, Stephen was awake. I did an interview with them, and then Stephen was crying in the background, and I said, Stephen, do you want to do the interview? You can if you want. And he sat in front of the camera and did an interview where he cried.
Do you know which news outlet that was with? I know there's a video on Fox 35 where
with
you
him
guys
sitting
appear to be on like a webcam.
Yeah, that was Zoom. He was sitting in the background for me.
Okay.
I know that one.
But you had in-person interviews with reporters?
Yes. I want to say it was Channel 9.
Okay.
And he ugly cried in front of the camera too, so he was fake sob crying.
Are you saying that now, or do you...
I'm saying that now. I didn't
Okay.
think that at the time. At the time, I thought he was truly heartbroken and not that he had done all this shit to her. Like, I look back at I'm just like, he was faking. What else has he been lying to me about? I know he's like a master liar and manipulator because he's done it to his parents, and he's told me and shown me the lies he's done to his parents. But I don't know why I never thought, not me.
The lies are about money, they're about where he's at, what he's doing, what's he...
Yeah, all that.
To his parents?
Yeah, he's stolen money from his parents. They used to have a few $1,000s hidden in like a closet for emergency funds kind of thing. And during COVID, he sold, like, he wanted RC cars. See, if he wants something, he's gonna get it. No matter what. So, he wanted RC vehicles, the remote control cars. Fancy ones. They were a few $100s. And I'm poor. I know I can't afford it. And he's showing up at home with these things. And I asked him, where are you getting the money from? Because we don't have this money. He goes, oh, my dad. And I said, your dad gave you money? He goes, no, I took some from his closet. And I was like they have an emergency stash? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, he's gonna notice money's missing. And he's like, no, he won't. It's so much money in there, he won't notice at all. I've confirmed with Chris later on that he did notice money, but he never asked his son. But I let him know, yeah, he was robbing you. You guys.
Tuesday night, Orange County detectives came out there, because I ended up coming out Tuesday night.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember seeing me or not that night.
Okay.
That was the first night we were at the apartment into the nighttime.
Yeah, is that when you guys shut down the house for forensics?
Yes.
Okay. So.
Tell us about that.
Okay. So earlier that day, I think Detective Hunt came, or somebody came, and asked Stephen for his cell phone. If he would willingly give it up so that they can look at it, or if they would need a warrant. And I remember him saying, should I have asked a warrant? Should I have... And I'm like, no, if you've got nothing to hide, give him your phone. And I think we hung out in the house for a little bit, and then when you guys came in the evening, and you guys told us to wait outside, and we waited in my car, he started getting very anxious and very panicky, going, I want my phone back. I want my phone back. And I said, listen, at this point, it's their phone. It's theirs forever. I don't give a shit. We will buy you a new phone. It doesn't matter anymore. Whatever they need, they need. Like, let them look at it. And he's like, I just want my phone back. And I'm just like, are you trying to make yourself more suspicious? Because, like, if you were to go demand your phone back right now, that would look suspicious. Like, what are you doing? I'm thinking he's just getting impatient because he's bored and wants to play on his phone. And at one point, he takes my phone to start playing with it. I give it up, and I said, here, play on my phone. Have fun. Because I think from my phone, he was trying to log into his emails, but he couldn't. Because you need like 2-factor authentication from your own phone. And I'm just like, what are you trying to look at? And he's like, oh, my shipments, my packages. He's addicted to buying. We waited in the car. I think at this point, when I noticed that forensics was locking down the house and you guys said we couldn't come back, I told him to call his dad. Because I had a feeling y'all knew something and it was going to come down on him. And I'm just like, they're focusing on the wrong person. They have the wrong person. In my head, I'm convinced you guys are just... that you had the wrong person. I wanted to think that he was good. Following morning, I wake up, I think around 9 o'clock in the morning. And Stephen's not there. And I remember thinking, he left again without his phone and didn't tell anyone where he was going. That's suspicious as again. Why is he trying to...
Well, we took his phone, so he got a new phone?
He didn't get the new phone until later that day, where his dad woke up, came to our hotel room, and then handed him a phone.
Okay.
And said, here, have this phone in the meantime until you get your old phone back.
Oh, so you're just saying he's out and about with no phone?
Yeah, he's out and about with no phone, so there's no way for us to contact him. There's no way for us to... I didn't know if he even knew how to get back to the hotel. Because I drove that night. He's a little oblivious to when it comes to directions. So I was just like, is he going to even figure out how to get here? But he rolled in around 11:15. Rolled in with a cup of Wawa. And said, oh, I'm so sorry, I was just driving around. I grabbed some Wawa on 182 and got lost. I didn't know how to get back to the hotel. But I'm here now. And I'm just like, detectives are about to show up. What the fuck would have happened if they showed up and you weren't here? Like, you would have been a fugitive. Like, what are you doing? And he was just apologetic about not telling anyone where he went.
But you know, I mean, he had a Wawa cup and he said he was up at 192.
Yeah, but in reality, I know that he truly took my car in the middle of the night to Northport, Florida, and was down there for an hour and came back. I didn't suspect that at all.
Okay. Is she a secretive teenager? What is, like, your kind of day-to-day with her?
I would have said a normal relationship. I asked, she would tell me. I didn't think she was hiding anything from me. I didn't think she was lying to me about anything, but obviously she had secrets.
I mean, the hindsight, all the stuff you found out over the past couple of days, we're taking that out of the picture, your relationship with her.
Okay.
Like, not looking back saying, okay, I was being lied to. Like, up until you found out some things that you've been told, you guys had an open communication relationship, you talk about
everything.
Life.
Yeah. If anything, she was a little bit more open with Stefan, because she told him about a boy she had a crush on.
Okay.
And, that his name was... And, she described him. And Stefan's like, are you aware that she has a crush on a boy? I said, no. He's like, yeah. She told me his name is and he's tall and, that she likes his fluffy hair.
When was this? Do you remember when this conversation happened?
Within the last week sometime, but I'm not sure.
Okay. How did he, it could be new. She sees a guy at school, she thinks it's attractive, he shows her attention, she's young. How did he take it? Was he like, and I want you to think back before you know things you know now, like, did he seem concerned about her? Did he seem excited for her? Like, she's starting to, be a kid and have crushes and everything else? Like,
he seemed happy for her.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, did you hear this? This is super cute. So I was like, oh. I hadn't. She hadn't told me. And I wondered, I'm like, why didn't she tell me? Why did she tell him and not me? And like, I want to know who she got a crush on. But maybe it's because I told her she had a rule. She wasn't allowed to date for a few years.
Okay.
Until, like, I think I had said 16 or something like that. But I didn't want her dating.
Situation. The living situation with them, I'll be honest, seems weird. It's weird to me. She's got a bedroom downstairs. What's kind of the mindset or the thought process, the communication you've had with Stefan about, she's not going to sleep in her bed, but you guys are going to sleep in the guest bedroom?
So, originally, the plan was that all three of us were going to sleep in my bed together.
And I'm not just saying Sunday, I mean like...
Oh, okay.
Like in the past too.
So, I had a rule. She wasn't allowed to sleep in his bedroom at all. Like, no sleepovers, no nothing. For a very long time. For years.
Since we're pausing,
yeah.
What brought that on? Was that like a request of his? Like, can we sleep in the same bed? Request of hers? Or you just saying...
Me being super paranoid, not to trust anyone. For the longest life, even though he treated her well, I still looked at him on, like side-eye, like making sure, like, is that normal? Is this, okay, that's normal, okay. I wanted to make sure that nothing was happening and that I was missing something, but he never requested, I'm sorry, repeat the question then.
So I guess you said, like, you had a rule. Like, obviously we know now they've, slept in the same bedroom together and everything else. I'm sure you're questioning a lot of things that, like, you haven't been told or that are going on. the thought process of them sleeping in the same bedroom caused you to say that you had a rule for the longest time where they couldn't.
Yeah.
I have a son. He's a lot younger than her. He's 4. But I guess if I was dating somebody or had somebody over, I would never establish, and this is just me, a rule. He can't sleep in the bed with her, or she's not going to be. It wouldn't even be a thought process for me, so that's why I ask, because I wouldn't think of it even as an option.
Yeah.
So when you say you had a rule, I guess I'm asking what prompted the rule.
Sleepovers before. Yeah. Like, you want to watch movies and eat snacks? Can we do that? I'm like, no. We can all watch movies down here together. We can all sleep down here together. Up until June, together all the time. So we were always. She would sleep in the middle. I would sleep on this side. He would sleep on the other side. It wasn't until June that he got his own bedroom and I sent him upstairs. That's where the request for sleepover started.
Okay.
And I kept telling her no. I'm not comfortable with that. But eventually at some point, like we really want to watch, I forgot what movie it was, but they really wanted to watch something and I was really tired. And I said, okay, fine, go ahead, but this can't happen often.
Already our jobs have kind of stopped on any other things we have going on until it's fine, because that's the most important thing anybody has going on right now. But with that, a lot of people are going to feel that whatever happened, I can tell you, and I know Pete, detectives have expressed to you that the thought process at this point is this is a homicide investigation.
Yeah.
Based on the evidence I've seen, based on the videos I've seen, I do believe. With that being said, and the reason I tell you that, not to be is because the thought process with us leads it in a different investigation, a different way. Meaning, whatever has already happened, right? We cannot change what happened most likely on Monday. We cannot change the fact that I believe Stephen killed her, right? All we can do now is find her as quickly as possible. On the 2% chance we're wrong and that she is alive, that's phenomenal, right? That's the best thing that can happen. On the chance that we are 100% correct and she has passed away, finding her now versus later will bring closure to your family, will bring closer to everybody, regardless of how it happened or why it happened. I think that there's probably some sense of guilt, and my fear is that sense of guilt is causing you to not want to assist in the location of her, not because you're a bad person, but because there's that sense of guilt that what was happening under your roof, and now, by her being found, brings that all to your plate, and it doesn't.
Oh no. If I knew anything, I would so tell you. I want to believe that she's dead because you guys tell me you're suspicious, but I'm not going to believe it until I have her body.
So there are things, and the reason I say these things, and again, I'm not trying to be an but the reason I say these things is there's been a lot of things you've said, and a lot of things I've kind of researched between the Fox 35 story, between your initial statement to the police. A lot of things have changed. The initial statement to the police was you watched her get dressed, you watched her leave, you knew exactly what she was wearing.
Can I tell you
Absolutely.
my thought process on that, or where I came from with that? I was handed this form, and I'm like, where do I start? What do I write? And somebody said, tell them what you saw. And so I started with I saw, and then I wrote out what I wrote out. But it wasn't until later I was like, wait, I didn't see her. I assumed that I saw her. I assumed that I heard her, but I didn't. In reality, I didn't see her. I only saw him, and I heard something in the kitchen, but I don't know who that was.
Which we talked about today. But I guess there's other concerns. Right? You were nervous. The police have showed you their hand. They said, Stephen, we want your phone. Stephen, we want to talk to you. We're going to lock down your residence. You can't go back inside. Me? I don't care if it's the love of my life sitting next to me. I don't care if it's maternal grandma. If the police come and take my mom's phone and my son's disappearance, I'm not going to offer my mom a lawyer. That's nuts to me. That to me shows you prioritizing Steph. Because at that point you became more worried about him being falsely accused than any. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Whether or not that's what you felt, does that make sense?
I promise you, like.
Because you offering him a lawyer is very weird.
I know. That was still me under the assumption that, I think at one point you guys interviewed me, and when you guys showed me the picture of her, I believed the stuff, but I didn't want to believe that he had done anything evil to her. I'm like, no, what if he did this stuff fine, but what if she's still missing out there? What if somebody took her? I still wanted to believe I believed him. I believed his whole story. You guys had the wrong guy. I wanted to think he was a good guy still, but clearly he's not. After everything you guys have told me and have shown me, I know he's the worst person on this face of the earth right now.
We know he's a piece of shit now.
No.
But you didn't know that then.
I didn't.
Then you offered a guy who the police suspected of kidnapping, abducting, assisting the disappearance. Offered him a lawyer. And then we don't have to roundtable that. You went back to what you just said is this stuff is fine.
It's not fine.
Hold on. I know every relationship is different, and I know everybody's family is different. I won't ask, but going back on, has he expressed interest in, I'll use the word weird, I'm not going to shame anybody for what they like, different pleasures, different experiences, different kinks that involve things you weren't comfortable with?
The only thing he's ever expressed to me was like,
okay.
He had a kink and like,
okay.
But that was something I was never comfortable with or doing, and I let him know that, like that's not like something.
You guys slept in the same bed together. Stephen was a big portion of your life at one point. Stephen was a big portion of your life at one point. And this is not me coming at you as a person or a bad person. It happens in the past. In the past, the past. We can't change the past. Has he ever expressed to you? Never. Has he ever made statements about made you feel different?
No.
Okay. When you guys slept in the same bed together, in the middle, did you ever wake up and find them cuddling? Did you ever wake up and find them closer than you thought they should be?
They would snuggle, yeah.
Okay.
But we all snuggle. I didn't think that was abnormal.
So if you guys are sleeping in the same bed and she's in the center, you've woken up and they're snuggling, they're under the same blanket, they're not under the same blanket?
No.
But just like
she's got her own blanket, she's got her own.
For what? What is snuggling to you? Because to me, snuggling is spooning. Big spoon, little spoon.
He would lay down like this and she would be right here in the nuts.
Okay. How do you guys sleep? Do you guys sleep clothed, unclothed? I sleep clothed.
Yeah.
Shirt, pants, pajama sets?
Yeah.
Everybody?
I sleep in like my everyday clothes.
Okay.
On pajamas or baggy t-shirts and shorts.
Okay.
And Stephen would sleep with his t-shirt or boxers, sometimes with his pants on, but he didn't have pajamas.
Okay, so they would snuggle, sometimes him being in his boxers. You would wake up and she'd be in the nook of his arm, essentially in a cuddling position. And you never found that weird?
No.
Okay. Now piece back her victimization in your house under your care to 2020. I believe you've gone as far back as in when she... So when I ask, they've woken up cuddling, did you find things suspicious? Did you have an open relationship? He talked to you? Has he made inappropriate statements? It's almost like cheating, right? Like, have you ever been cheated on? Okay. Somebody can only cheat on somebody for so long until they or until something comes out, or somebody says something, right? So we go back to 2020, we're looking at a minimum of 3.5 years. 3.5 years where I'm sure you guys are sexually active. Yes. So for 3.5 years under your care in your house, not only is he being sexually active with you, he had a relationship. And I know it's an emotional thing, and I know it sucks to hear, but where I'm coming from is it seems like something that you can't hide forever. You guys live in a small space, close quarters, you sleep in the same bed, you guys all talk, you guys all share things, you're an observant person for the most part, I assume. Outside of taking medications and going to sleep, it seems very difficult. A lot of grown adults can't hide an affair with somebody who doesn't live with them, let alone somebody who does live with them. So at a certain point, I do believe you became aware of what was going on.
No.
And when I say that, it doesn't mean you're in trouble. It doesn't change.
I know, but
I do believe that a reasonable person, and I consider you a reasonable person, right? Do you think you're a reasonable person?
Yes.
Would be aware that under her roof, sexual relation. The videos, the text messages, the images, they are all documented forever. This has been an ongoing thing. I believe that you became aware of the relationship. I think at a certain point throughout this relationship, you became aware of it. And for whatever reason, your reasons are your reasons, whether it was discussed that it would stop, whether it was discussed how it would go, that you feel some sense of guilt. A lot of the news statements you've given kind of, again, my opinion only, I don't speak for anybody else, whether it's in this room or out of this room, bother me. It seems like some of your emotion, up until this room, I think some of the emotion in this room is sincere. I think a lot of it's because I'm telling you things you don't want to hear that shouldn't be said out loud. But when you talk to the news, when you talk to deputies, it feels, based on my experience in this job, that it's not sincere. I feel like some of your sadness is not real sadness. I feel like when you gave the interview with Fox 35, it was not sincere. Looking at that video one time, I didn't feel like your cries were sincere. And I'm not saying that because you're a bad person. I feel like sometimes people struggle to show real emotion when they're aware of what the truth is. So it has to be fake at that point.
If I knew anything, I promise you, I would tell you. Like, I am willing to take a lie detector test, whatever the you want, but I don't know anything. He's never mentioned anything. I've never seen any signs. I tried watching her like a hawk. I thought I was doing a good job, but I wasn't. I was oblivious to everything. 4 years?
Minimum. That's just how that far back the cloud goes. And I find it hard to believe for me that you were so worried about how many pills she took at night, but not where she slept or what relationship she was. His interest in her.
I thought we were all safe. I thought because in that he hadn't shown me anything so far, like everything seems fine. Like he seemed like he treated her like
he treats you. He's been having unrestricted sexual activity for a long time. He's getting what he wants from her, probably from you, and who knows whoever else, right? So it's not like he woke up or went to bed Sunday and he was like, you know what, I'm done with this, but I'm going to kill her. Something happened. People don't just wake up and like, you know what, they leave people, they break up with people, but usually things cause people to. So what do you think happened Sunday? Other than him killing her, what do you think made him snap?
Theories. I keep hearing
Tell me your theories, because here's the deal. We don't go home until she's found.
No, I know.
So what are your theories?
What I've heard is, what if she upset him and threatened to tell me and say that she was going to tell me and he needed to shut that down? That's the only thing.
What do you think?
want to believe he killed her. So from what you guys are telling me, he must have killed her Sunday night and snuck her body out in the morning.
You don't want to believe he killed her.
I want to believe she's still alive and that she got kidnapped, but that doesn't seem like that's the
Well,
case
that's not
at
what
all.
happened. Yeah.
I know, my brain just wants to believe something else. I just want to believe she's still alive and she's out there.
Did he tell you he
No. He acted so normal that day. He was like, I'm so impressed. We got out of the house so early. Like, she made great time. We had so much time to go to McDonald's, but she didn't want to. His story was so fun. Like, every detail was so believable.
So we're still going through his phone, his drives, like I told you, all his socials. We can date back to 2020. Based on the videos, it appears that was the start of the victimization. Okay, are we going to find anything in his phone with you?
No. We haven't done anything. We've never done anything.
Has there ever been a request for the two of you to participate in sexual activity with him?
No.
Regardless of you saying no or yes?
No, he's never asked that.
Okay.
Anything I would tell you right now. I promise. I want her back so bad. I don't want to think about planning a funeral.
What has your communication been like with his father since this?
I've limited contact over the last 2 days because I know too much and I don't want to tell him anything.
So we've talked to his dad, and his dad knows as much as you know. He knows his son's a knows his son's a He's talked to us. He's been very open with wanting to help in any way he can, whether that's technological, whether that's verbal.
Yeah, he even had, I was with him when he turned in his knife to you guys. He remembered he had a knife on him and gave it to you guys. I thought that was...
Have you talked to Chris about Stephen needing a lawyer?
Yeah.
When?
I think when you guys showed me the photos.
So we showed you photos of Stephen.
No.
The first thought you had is to ask his father if he should get a lawyer?
No. I saw a picture. I didn't see the... I didn't know she was getting until yesterday. I saw the picture of the oral happening. And I knew that was true, right? That's evidence. That's for real. That's happening. But I kept thinking, they're going... I don't know why I can't tell you why my brain kept thinking, no, he didn't kill her. But not that he didn't kill her, but she's still missing, she's still out there. She was taken. Yes, he's done this to her, and that's not okay. But I swore she was still, I felt in my body she was still alive, she was still out there. I told Chris to get him a lawyer because I felt like you guys were chasing the wrong person, but you weren't. You're not.
We showed you a picture. The picture you saw, she was giving to a grown man, and you told his dad to get him a lawyer. Missing, right? Now you, but then you just thought she was missing, and we were showing you our investigative lead. Not consensual. Whether she wants to do it or not, that is not consensual. And you prioritized him again. You prioritized him by offering him or telling his dad to get him a lawyer. Not what the f did he do? Not, hey, we need to figure out what happened. No, let's protect Stephen.
I was in shock.
No, it's not shock. That is your natural instinct to protect Stephen. Okay? And if that's naturally how you react, that's fine. But that goes into what I've been telling you this whole conversation is I don't believe a lot of the things you're saying, and I don't believe a lot of the things you say you weren't aware of. And that is because you've now shown me twice that your first reaction, no matter what you were told or shown, missing and we're seizing a cell phone, or and we're showing you pictures of her giving him your first reaction is to protect Stefan. So now, ordered by Stefan, you're aware of this, you were shown pictures of this, you were shown pictures of her body in his car with a seatbelt on, right? We have played it out for you. Now you're in a stage where he's in jail, you know she's passed away, and now you can feel emotion, right? Until that point, when you were shown that she was deceased, your continued first reaction is to protect this guy. You just said, I only saw a picture of him, whatever your verbiage was, I say his in her mouth, and your first reaction was, oh my, victimized? No. She's being abused? No. It's Stefan needs a lawyer. Who the f cares if we think he killed her? He's
I don't know why I said that.
But that's the problem. You don't know why. So the reaction in your mind is you are continuously protecting this guy. So why do I sit here and believe that you don't? Because right now you know Stefan killed her. You know Stefan's been. You know without her body, can he be charged with?
I don't know.
Exactly. So you don't know what we can do. Do I think we can charge him with murder? It's not up to me. Should he be charged with murder? Yes.
Please.
Does your role in her life lead this to happen? I'll be honest. Yes. Since she was a child, since her victimization started, it occurred under your roof and you acted like it didn't exist. And knowing the victimization, knowing how ongoing it is, knowing that you saw a picture of it, not just us telling you, not me and him saying, hey, listen, he's being, I think they had a bad relationship. They showed you a picture of it. And you still protected him. So how am I supposed to not think that the thought process in your mind is until she's found, Stefan can't be charged with murder? Because we both now know that you don't want him to be charged with murder because you want him to have a lawyer.
No, I don't. That was then.
He can't be charged with murder.
That was then. Everything that you guys have shown me since then and have shown me that he's
so
lying.
So we had to show you a picture
time?
of her dead in a car for you to finally not take his side? Do you not see where I'm coming from? Like, I'm not trying to be a here.
No,
but it makes absolutely no sense that your name is Stefan.
I don't know.
Where does your mind go? Stefan. There should have been no doubt in your mind when they showed you that picture of what he was doing to you that you had any care in the world other than I want that motherfucker to die. Whether you believe in the death penalty or not, he protected him. So now we're talking about her disappearance and where her body is. Why do I believe that you're still not protecting him? Because you say so? Because you can't explain why you protect him. You can't explain what is inside of you that makes you protect Stefan. And you may never be able to explain it. But eventually we're going to have to figure it out because you haven't convinced me that you're still not protecting Stefan. I got all these people out here searching. I haven't seen my own kid in days because I'm looking. I truthfully believe that I can't go home and see my kid is because you're protecting. I can't go you're people sitting in the woods just waiting for me to tell them where to go, but I can't because I think you're in trouble.
I don't care about him. I want him to go to jail. I want the worst thing possible to happen to him in jail. I know what happens to predators in jail. Like, I'm ready for that. Like, please. I don't give a f about him. I'm not protecting him.
But you knew he was a predator when you got shown the picture. And then you text his dad that he needs a lawyer and you hope that he invoked, was the words I was told.
What?
You hope that he didn't talk to us. He needs a lawyer.
No.
All over a picture. You didn't care. You didn't care then. Oh, whether is it important to you? That wasn't anything close.
I knew what I saw was
he was
terrible.
A predator right then and there. That's the day you found out he was a predator.
Yeah.
Yes. And after you found out he was a predator, did you not say he needed a lawyer?
I did.
So why today, Friday almost 3 o'clock, 5 days into the disappearance, 2 days since you probably found out, or 1 day since you found out she was murdered, do I believe you that you're not telling me where he went, or that he didn't disclose to you where she was, or what caused this to happen? Is listen, I know you know I've been doing whatever, or listen, this happened. How do I believe that that didn't happen when everything you've shown me is protect Stefan? Now, once have you shown priority in this conversation, in this investigation? You're coming here looking for her. You reported her missing. Trouble for not doing that. But outside of you reporting her missing, and I may be wrong, I haven't been involved in all aspects of it, but you have not shown me one bit that you prioritize her over him. And that's something.
So I don't know if it's possible he gave her something and she was drugged. In those photos that you showed me where you're saying she's dead, maybe she was drugged. But if she is dead and it was done upstairs, I could just only imagine that he choked her. I don't know how else you would kill someone and not leave a mess.
So him leaving early in the morning and driving around aimlessly somewhere. I feel like he stashed the body at that time. When he came back and then left again. But see, it's daytime. Like, how could you move a body or move something in daytime and not be seen? But like, I feel like he went back to check, to make sure he did a good job, or to move the body again. I don't know. But him leaving the house multiple times without his cell phone is sketchy as it's so suspicious. Phone being on the dresser.
It was intentional. Her cell records and her cell data from her cell phone show it is not common for her to leave her phone at home. It is common for her to go to school with her. You know, a teenager leaves their phone at home, so they're attached to it.
She's left her phone home multiple times.
Her cell data shows that normally it goes with her, so that's intentional. You know it's intentional because he left his too.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's an accident last Friday, this Monday, it was not an accident.
If I were him and I had to stash a body, but I would never do that. My mind would say to go to Lake Toho. There's a lot of woods there, there's a lot of gators.
What you need to think about is when we find her, is there an opportunity or a chance that we are going to prove that you did not assist us to your full capability in this investigation? And if that is true, you need to think about the consequences of that. Consequences of hindering a murder investigation or a capital matter investigation can be punishable up to probably the same charges, the same time in jail. I know you know that I don't believe what you're saying, and I know you know that I think you prioritize Stefan, but you prioritize jail. You see what I'm saying? Like, if we come back and prove that you sat in this room and misled us, that you didn't lead us in the right direction, or that you assisted, or you acknowledged, or you knew, you're going to be warning from jail.
If I knew anything, I swear I would tell you.
Without any hard evidence that Jennifer was involved, detectives reluctantly released her to go home. Later that day, detectives visited Hickory Tree Road, where Stefan was seen fixing his flat tire. They searched up and down the road for hours, until a detective spotted something large a few feet from the road, amongst a patch of bamboo. As they got closer, they could see blonde hair and a pair of white jeans. It was the body of a young girl. One look at her face confirmed that it was indeed Madeline Soto. A later examination determined that she'd been strangled to death. A charge of first-degree murder was added to Stefan's rap sheet on top of the over 60 charges he currently had related to the explicit items found on his phone. Given the horrific nature of his crimes, the prosecution announced that they'd be seeking the death penalty. He pleaded not guilty to the charges, and while incarcerated, Stefan's story would suddenly change. In a recorded jail call, Stefan was heard telling his parents that he didn't kill Madeline, but rather, he found her already dead when he went to wake her up. Rather than Upon calling the police, he panicked and disposed of her body. His attorneys have filed several motions on his behalf, including requests to remove his shackles during trial, to prohibit the media from attending his trial, and to exempt him from the death penalty. His defense has filed to suppress the evidence found on his phone, citing that he was under the influence of anxiety medication and hadn't eaten all day when he gave detectives permission to go through his device. His defense and the prosecution are currently preparing for his trial, which is set to take place in September of 2025. While Stefan sat behind bars, Madeline's community gathered to honor her memory. A memorial ceremony was held at Lakefront Park on February 22, 2025, what would have been Madeline's 14th birthday. There, her aunt delivered a clear message to anyone experiencing a similar situation. I reiterate to you all to be the voice of those who have been silenced and are too weak to speak up. If you see something, please say something, because time is of the essence and can be unforgiving.